Dr. Chuck, the Science Schmuck. Synchronize. Hello and welcome back to another one of these videos filmed from my, luxurious basement. Now, as you know, I really like coffee. As you can see, I've got some coffee here. Room temperature. But there is a problem I encounter with coffee in general. The problem is caffeine. You know, I keep drinking it, and it makes me shake, and it makes me nervous, and it makes me anxious. And clearly there's not enough of it, because if you drink enough stimulants, all that goes away. It doesn't actually. But the point is, here's a picture of some caffeine. What do you notice about that? All you people who study chemistry, what do you notice about this molecule? Aside from the fact that it's several aromatic rings with a ton of nitrogen, it's not very water-soluble. There's not a lot of hydrophilic groups. These, a little bit, but this is mostly just organic stuff. Well, hydroxyl groups would be organic technically anyway, but like methyl, aromatics, nitrogens. It is water soluble, but just barely. Most coffee is made from water, and that's a limitation to the very science of coffee. It's almost a travesty that caffeine is not fully dissolvable. It doesn't dissolve into the water, it doesn't get into the coffee. So I figure, well, why can't I make a form of coffee that has better solubility for caffeine? So that gets me thinking back to organic chemistry, which clearly we've all taken organic chemistry. I need an organic solvent. Well, yeah, I could use something like hexane or propane or something weird, but I can't drink that. Well, I could drink that. I'd probably die. So, instead, why not use unicorn juice? Yes, I have this unicorn that I got at Kohl's. It's adorable. It adheres to my vodka bottle, which, as you can see, is Barton's vodka, the best vodka for sciencing due to its low price point. It's $10 a liter, which I don't know if that's a lot in most states. Generally speaking, the interesting thing about vodka is that quality increases as price decreases. There is no point in buying expensive vodka. You're wasting your money. The vodka gets better the cheaper it gets. Vodka. It tastes like vodka. If you've never had vodka, maybe you're under 21. Don't drink if you're under 21 in America. Obey the legal? Strong stuff. Obey the legal drinking age and don't drink and drive. It tastes roughly like the burning sensation of cough syrup with no sweetness. Like if you imagine if you drank cough syrup but there was no flavor. That's what vodka roughly tastes like. What is vodka? About 50% ethanol. Ethanol is an organic solvent, which should allow me to extract a lot more caffeine from the coffee. More so than water would be able to elucidate. More so than would be achievable with water. Clearly, I need more caffeine in my alcohol. Because alcohol slows you down. There's no point in a drug that slows you down. Drugs should only speed you up. So, I got here some coffee. It's great value, says so on the front. That's how I know it's a good price point. Smells like brown. So, 3 scoops should be good. I usually use about 6 to 9 scoops per per gallon of coffee that I make. So my coffee is not actually generally that strong, aside from the fact that it sits out at room temperature for about a week. So I'm going to take this here vodka, and I am going to pour it simply into the coffee. Definitely not a gallon of vodka. A gallon of vodka is expensive. Swirl it up so that the coffee is in contact with the vodka. Now the process will be accelerated by the I have a very low alcohol tolerance, which is why I need to put caffeine in my alcohol so it doesn't make me sleepy, because my heart rate will go down into the 30s and I'll pass out. Needs heat to percolate out the caffeine into the vodka. How do I get heat? The microwave. I'm going to do this all in one cut, but you're going to jump cut, future me, who hopefully has not drank all this vodka in the near future, to just jump cut to the next version of myself who has already finished a minute in the microwave. Minute 30. Am I back? Okay, minute 30, too long. Vodka apparently boils much faster than water does. Give it about 45 seconds, and then probably a minute to stand? I mean, ideally, the longer you let it stand, the more caffeine can come out of those delicious coffee grains and into the vodka, thereby increasing the dose that you'll receive when you ultimately chug it. There is the problem in that the grounds are now inside the vodka. Wow! Don't breathe it! Whoa! I feel much more energetic just snorting that. Mainly from the pain of breathing in boiling vodka fumes with a ton of coffee. Oh, my nose, my poor nasal cavities. I think I lost my sense of smell. Oh well, it'll grow back. Ugh. Regardless, filtration. What we got here is the top of a soda bottle. You may remember it from the live video. Don't worry, I washed it out. In a jar, which will be what holds the effluent, or the effluvium, depending. Are you centered? Am I centered? I can't tell. YouTube keeps telling me I need to be centered. Ooh, effluvium. I'm going to put that far away from me. Now, as you can see, hopefully, let me clear that for you, and give you a front row seat to the creation of a new kind of coffee beverage. The coffee is percolating and dripping out in its most pure and concentrated form, far more concentrated than you could get with any sort of espresso machine, simply because so much more can be dissolved in alcohol than can be dissolved in water alone. We are creating something very delicious, very potent, very powerful. Essentially coffee extract. Have you ever made mint extract? I should show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. I also made some out of, ever heard of Creeping Charlie? It's everywhere here because there's no boron in the soil. I don't want to drink it because I think I'll die, but it doesn't evaporate for some reason. It's a weird red fluid that I'm pretty sure will make you stop clotting. Okay, the filtration is mostly the way through. I had to jump cut forward a little bit because, as with the lie, you don't really care about watching stuff filter. So here we have a very strange form of coffee. It's very hot, and very coffee, and very vodka. It has a weird consistency. Now let me, Do remember, don't drink alcohol if you're not of the correct age. I'm 41, supposedly. Now, as you can see, I'm going to try to drink that, and I'm going to see what it does. Hopefully it's not hot. Well, it's not good. Let me put it that way. Ugh. Okay, it's definitely concentrated, and there's definitely a lot of caffeine in there, but the main issue being the flavor is really rank. Because instead of extracting the coffee essence, it also extracted all non-coffee essence. So, like, coffee is sort of absorbent, and it absorbs smells from the atmosphere unless you keep it perfectly sealed. So, all of the life of this coffee was extracted with the coffee, and is stored in the vodka. So it tastes like plastic. Like, I can taste everywhere that this coffee has ever been. However, I do think the caffeine, my head is so clear. Probably psychosomatic. I do think that coffee is primarily a placebo effect because there's no way that coffee already got through my circulatory system unless for some reason it can percolate across the mucous membranes. But what is a good way to drink this coffee? Well, the way I believe that would be the best way to drink this coffee. First, let's add a little bit to this other jar. Not too much. And then, if you're like me, you're almost always thinking about milkies. This has been here for a while. Fortunately, my basement is only about 70 degrees, so the milk definitely isn't bad. Just pour that in. Swirl that around. I like a lot of milk. I call it the Brown Russian. Ah. It's a lot more tolerable in flavor because the sweetness of the milk helps counterbalance the extreme flavor of whatever in the world this is. However, I do believe this has a significant amount more caffeine than any other form of coffee I can possibly drink in the entire world. They say, oh, this coffee has so much caffeine. Well, it's just a matter of extraction. I extract it in a way that has vastly more caffeine. This caffeine is a lot more caffeinated than any other caffeine you could possibly caffeinate. It's a good thing it's like 1 o'clock in the morning because I don't need to go to sleep anymore. I would recommend not chugging a lot of this. I don't know what it'll do to you. However, I'm going to go drink the rest of this and use this for making more of these more mild drinks. Always remember not to drive after having one of these. Even the trace amount of alcohol can affect your judgment and impair you. Having it with caffeine can also have other side effects that people tell me don't mix up or downers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what they're talking about because I don't care. I just need to be more caffeinated. And I have been. So, thank you for watching. You don't need to hit like or subscribe because it doesn't actually matter. This channel is not currently monetized. I'd like it to be, but I don't really care as long as I have my coffee. Extra!